Hello, and welcome to Alive with Bhavna. Thank you for listening to today's show, where I will be discussing self-belief. For those new to the show, I'm Bhavna Nagar. I've worked as a clinical psychologist both here in New Zealand and in South Africa for the last 18 years. 12 years ago, I came to New Zealand. I started my business, Alive Psychology, 8 years ago, and it's called Alive because that's what I believe life should be. We should be alive and vibrant. My mindfulness started in South Africa, but it grew into the self-love mindfulness here in New Zealand. This resulted in me writing a book called Alive, Self-Love, the First Step. And the book combines mindfulness and psychological tools to give you the best of both worlds. So today's talk is all about self-belief. Last week, I did the Queen Charlotte track outside Picton. I've never done a hike before and was not sure that I could do the 71 kilometers hike in 4 days. I did very little training, but still went for the hike. On the first day, as I was walking, I was wondering to myself, what am I doing? This is not my thing. I'm not fit enough to do this. Why am I here? On the first day, on the boat ride on the first day to the starting point, I actually contemplated not doing the big walk. Contemplated not doing day 3, which was about 28 kilometers of hills. And I went, actually, this is not my thing. Walking is not my thing. Why do I want to do a 28 hill walk? Actually, I'll just take the water taxi from one lodge to the other lodge and chill and enjoy being on the beach, because that's kind of more my thing than exerting myself and walking. But a part of me wanted to do the walk as well. And after completing day 2, something changed in me. I all of a sudden wanted to face that long 23K day 3 track. And after completing day 3, I was the only one in our group of 4 who actually wanted to do the full 21 Ks of day 4. I'm glad to say that we all did the 21 Ks of day 4 and we finished the walk together as a group. So what happened to me? How did I change, or what happened to change my mind and actually do the full track? After completing day 2, something changed in my mind and my body and my attitude. I was suddenly determined and I wanted to do the walk. But more importantly, after day 2, I believed that I could do the walk. I believed that I could do the harder part of the track. The other factors that helped me was that I had so many people supporting me, so many people telling me, wow, cool, good, you can do this, go for it. So I started believing in myself, and I didn't want to let me down, but I also didn't want to let them down, all those people who believed in me. And after day 2, I also realized I'm really fitter and more able than I gave myself credit for. I was not as sore as I expected to be. So I grew in self-belief. The mind is extremely powerful. I remember in the first year of studying psych, whatever book we studied, it said something like, if our mind was simple enough for us to understand it, we'd be too simple to understand it. And all of us have heard of people curing themselves from cancer or other terminal conditions using the power of the mind. At the same time, we all know of people who've died of these same conditions, despite fighting it with everything in their being. I don't know or understand why some people are able to cure themselves and others not. This is an area that's outside of my expertise, so I will just leave it at that. What I am able to talk about from personal and professional experience is how we are able to change our lives based on our beliefs. or our power, our mind power. I remember when I worked in substance abuse, the patient spoke about willpower. And they said that with some things, no matter how much willpower you have, it's impossible to exert willpower on that. They gave an example of eating a packet of prunes and then using willpower not to go to the toilet. So again, I'm not talking about that kind of willpower or that kind of fighting against nature, because nature is nature and we can't fight against it. What I am talking about is the belief in ourselves and the belief that influences our lives and our expectations from other people. These are the scripts that we develop early on in life or later on in life. For many of my clients who've experienced abuse, this deep internal script is that they're not good enough or they're not worthy of loving and caring. Even for my clients who don't have an abusive history, they still have an internal belief that they're not good enough. For some people whose primary experience in life was abandonment, they have a sense of not being good enough, or not important enough, or they don't matter. These early scripts are what directs our lives in many ways. I was not consciously aware of my scripts for most of my life. But once I started becoming aware of my scripts, I noticed how they influenced my life, how they stopped me from doing certain things, how they stopped me from believing in myself or trying something out because I feared I would fail. And better not to test that out than to actually test it out and fail, because that would confirm my lack of worth. As long as the scripts remain unconscious, there's nothing we can do about it, because we don't know it's there. That's the same as it's the computer program that's running our lives. And until we have software engineering or know about programming, we really don't know what program is running and whether it's a virus or whether it's bad for us. We just go, oh, it's a bit slow. It's a bit sluggish. The same thing with the program running our lives, the scripts running our lives. Therapy is one of the ways of becoming aware of what your scripts are, what script is running your life. Therapy is the one space where people can strip off their personas, their characters, their attitudes, and actually face themselves. I feel honored because I am sometimes the only person with whom my clients can really show their raw, unprocessed, natural selves to. Mindfulness and spiritual retreats are other opportunities where people can become aware of their scripts. It's the gift of the time, the space, the attitude, where we can actually just stop and notice what script is running in my head. I've become aware of a lot of my scripts on retreats. So the first step before we can change our scripts is to become aware of what it is. To reach this point, we have to be brave enough to face ourselves. Some people use therapy to stay stuck, to keep their current belief going and in place. For most of my clients, I am in awe of their courage to face themselves, their determination to change their lives, their honesty with themselves, and their faith in me to help and support and guide the process. And this is the other thing, this work can only be done with support from others. We need a skilled therapist or mindfulness practitioner to hold our pain without flinching, to show us that we are okay as we are, and that we too can hold our pain with gentleness and kindness. During the hike, from that first day, I held myself with kindness. I did not beat myself up for wanting to take the easy way out and not walk the full walk. And at the same time, I gently held the option of maybe I want to do the full walk. It wasn't any right or wrong, it was both these options were available to me. I didn't feel bad for choosing either option. The confidence from others that I could do it helped me believe that I could do it. The camaraderie with my fellow walkers, my group of 4, also supported me in that notion that I could do this. And the general camaraderie from all the other hikers and mountain bikers when we met at the end of the track, and everyone just spoke about how it was and cool, you done it. All that contributed to them supporting me and increasing my belief in myself that I could do this. So awareness is the first step. The second step is we need to take action once we got this awareness. In this way, for me, knowing what my fears were helped me formulate my plan, which gave me the confidence to continue. I would not have gone on this hike if I was carrying my own backpack and if we were camping. What I learned in those early days was that I was afraid that I could not do the big days, and therefore I wanted to take the easy option out of taking the water taxi. But after doing those first 2 days in a relatively decent time, I believed that I could do the longer, bigger days. We ensured that we gave ourselves more than enough time to complete the hike. On day 3 and 4, we started at 7 and 6 in the morning, respectively, just to ensure that I had enough time, or we all had enough time. In therapy, clients are presented with options on what they can do to help change their beliefs or their scripts. Scripts are deeply embedded. So unlike the hike, for clients, this is a lot more intense. It's a lot longer work. The hike was only in 4 days. It was easy to face my challenges on that. Clients have to slowly start to prove to themselves the opposite of what they've believed for so long. They have to slowly look for evidence that they're good enough, that they're worthy, that they can do this, that they matter. As they slowly look for evidence of these beliefs, their focus changes, their belief in themselves change, and they gain momentum. For some clients who have family and friends supporting them, this growth in them happens a lot more quicker. The transformation is deeper and faster. Like with me on the hike, I had people believing in me, supporting me. Sadly, for most of my clients, I might be the only one supporting them, supporting their transformation, encouraging them to keep going. This is not because their loved ones don't care. Their loved ones simply don't know what a transformed person looks like. They don't know where the goal is. They don't know what the outcome is. They've known this person in this way, and that's all they know. I, on the other hand, have walked this journey and can see where it is, where I'm leading the clients to. In some martial arts, the teacher is called a sensei, which literally means the person born before another, or a person born before me. And I love that because it indicates that this is the person who's walked this journey before me, who's learned the tools, who's learned the strategies, the downfalls, the pitfalls before me. And they can support and guide me because they know the way. And that's what I like to see therapy as, or good mindfulness teacher as. Someone who guides and holds your hand as you're walking this track, because they know what the track is. But even though they're holding your hand, you still have to take the steps, every single step. So the first step is awareness, and the second step is action. For me, the third and the hardest step is commitment to the cause. This is where many of us fail. How many times have we started a diet, stopped smoking, changed a habit, started an exercise routine or even meditation. And then somewhere along the way, kind of stopped doing it. When I first started mindfulness meditation, we were told to do a 2-hour meditation a day. 1 hour in the morning, 1 hour in the evening. And for the first month or so, I probably did both hours. And that first morning when I didn't wake up to do the morning sit, I knew that it was the start of a very slippery slope. Because once I broke the pattern, it was broken. Then it was easier to not get up the next morning. And eventually I was only getting up 1 morning a week. And the same thing with the evening sit. Once I stopped doing it, it was easy not to do it. Eventually I moved from 2 hours a day to 1 hour a week. And that was only because we had a group sit and kind of had to show your face at the group sit. But even then, some weeks I missed the group sit. So that's the hard part, is committing and staying committed to the cause. On the hike, committing to the cause was easy. It was 4 days long. Not a big deal. Since coming back, one of my friends who I went with has said, now we need to do regular walks up to Mata Peak and keep our fitness going. And I'm less inclined to want to do that because I committed to doing the track and I see my commitment is done. I survived. I did the 4 days. I did the 71 Ks. Job over. For clients, commitment means attending regular therapy, especially on the days when you're not feeling emotionally or psychologically well. I have clients who are willing to face the pain of intensive therapy, knowing that it's short-term pain for long-term gain. Other clients leave therapy because they're not willing to put in the effort. Or others leave earlier because they've changed enough not to change too much. So they stop the commitment. For clients, commitment also means doing the work day in and day out. Not just the day before they come and see me, which many of them say, oh, yes, you sent me the text, I quickly did my homework. It means taking on a new behavior. It means adjusting your routines, your behaviors, your attitudes on a daily basis. In terms of mindfulness, it means doing a daily practice, even if it's just for 5 or 10 minutes a day. Staying the course is where we really see the transformation happen. It's the same as going to gym and working every day for a year or longer. You get the body, the shape, the tone, the muscles that you want. If you only go to the gym once a week, you get some results, but not enough. And then we get disappointed and we lose focus. And that, for me, is the hardest part, is how do we keep staying committed? For clients in therapy, the regular appointments helps keep that momentum going. Many of my clients tell me that once they stop therapy, they lose the momentum. So keeping the therapy going is one way, but it's not the only way. It's community, it's connection, it's doing it with others that helps us keep that track going, that helps us keep that momentum going. It's connection with people who are doing the same thing or similar thing. If running is your thing, hang out with runners. If music is your thing, hang out with musicians. Because that way it makes it easier to stay committed rather than I'm doing the slog all on my own. I would not have done the hike if I was doing it on my own. Simple as that. Because I didn't have the community to push me, to support me, to guide me. And the last part And I'm stealing a quote here from Og Mandino from the God Memorandum. The last part is do all things with love. Love for yourself, love for all others, and love for me. That's a quote from the book God Memorandum by Og Mandino. And for me, this is the crucial point. We need to do things with love for ourselves. Because without love for yourself, none of the stuff that I spoke about will work or give you what you want. Without love, the steps that I've spoken about today is equal to the good old Kiwi attitude of harden up. Clients tell me that they've tried the harden up most of their lives. And yes, it worked. It got them to the spot. It means that they're alive today. But it's been hard. It's unpleasant. It's hiding from yourself. Harden up attitude for me would be equal to pushing myself to do the hike faster, to making sure that I completed it in a good time, not giving myself permission to stop when I needed to or take photographs or enjoy the scenery. It would mean go, go, go. That would also take away the joy and the sense of achievement that I had, because I'd go, oh, I've done it in 6 hours, I should have done it in 5. It would take away the joy. Love for yourself is in the process of also not pushing yourself. Or loving yourself means both pushing yourself when you need to push yourself, but also not pushing yourself when you need a cuddle, when you need a rest. And it's learning that difference of the days that you need a kick and the days that you need a cuddle. I know people who approach meditation with the same attitude of go, 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 harder, harder, harder. For me, that's contrary to what mindfulness has meant for me. Mindfulness is a letting go process, not a do it harder, do it better. And that's how I approach the hike, and that's how I approach life. It's that idea of knowing that at this moment I'm doing the best that I can do. Yes, if I was fitter, I could have done it better, but I done it the way I could do it with the skills and talent, and I enjoyed it. And it's for me, I work on that pleasure principle. So to end with Og Mandino's words, it's recognizing the fact that you are the greatest miracle in the world. And celebrate that, enjoy that, do it your way. Live your life your way. Give yourself joy, pleasure, and happiness. Thank you for listening to me. This is Bhavna from Alive with Bhavna, and today we spoke about self-belief. If you want to contact me, all my details are available on my website, which is alivepsych.co.nz. Thank you very much. Bye.